Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingley Tim Hoki, bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include Mar student body leaks, 3 village volunteers kill fake encounter. ITLF strongly condemns brutal killing of 3 Mar village volunteers. Manipur police arrest key suspect in Chiru murder case. News in details. Assam police claim of gunning down 3 Mar militants in an early morning encounter in Cachar district on Wednesday, July 17, came under a cloud after tribal groups raised questions about the circumstances that led to the killings. The Mar Inpui, the apex body of the Mar tribe, and Mar Students Association in separate statement demanded an urgent and impartial investigation into the circumstances leading to the deaths. The Mar Students Association in its statement, issued from its joint headquarters in Delhi, unequivocally condemned the brutal custodial deaths of Lal Nungmoy Mar, Lal Biakung Mar, and Joshua at the hands of the Assam police. The statement said that the 3 youth were village volunteers and not militants as stated by the police who valiantly defended the Kuki Zomi Mar village against Meitei militants, and that they were taken into custody by the Assam police on the afternoon of July 16, 2024 at the Kachudaram police station. They were arbitrarily detained, taken to an undisclosed location, and brutally shot dead under circumstances that defy all principles of justice and human rights, said the statement. The statement further said that the police claim of an encounter was riddled with inconsistencies and contradicted by compelling video evidence which exposed the fabricated nature of their account. I said that such acts of extrajudicial killings not only undermine the sanctity of human life but also erode the trust in our law enforcement agencies. In the viral video it alluded to, police were seen detaining the 3 from Auto Rickshaw. In another video, one of the arrestees was seen taken into an undisclosed wooded area with his hands tied behind by the police. The authenticity of the video shared by the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, in its media WhatsApp group is not independently verified. The Cachar district of Assam is close to Manipur's Jiribam, the latest hotspot in the ongoing Meitei, Kuki, and Nik strife. The Mer student body called for an urgent and impartial investigation into the circumstances leading to the deaths of the 3 Mar youngsters and urged the National Human Rights Commission and relevant authorities to ensure that those responsible for these heinous acts were swiftly brought to justice through a fair trial and appropriate legal proceedings. It also said that it was imperative that the victim families receive justice and adequate compensation for their irreparable loss. Earlier on July 17, the Assam police said that at least 3 suspected Mar militants were killed and 3 police personnel were injured in a fire encounter in Cachar district of Assam on Wednesday. In an early morning operation at Cachar, police killed 3 Mar militants from Assam and neighboring Manipur. Police also seized 2 AK rifles, 1 other rifle and 1 pistol, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said in a post on X. The deceased militants were part of a large group which was preparing to carry out subversive activities along the Assam-Manipur border areas, said a senior police officer. Addressing a press conference later, Cachar SP Numal Mahatta said police received an input regarding movement of suspected militants at Krishnapur Road area. A police team rushed to the location. 3 persons were arrested along with sophisticated weapons near Ganganagar while on their way to Buban Hills in an auto rickshaw, he said. Mahata said as per preliminary investigation, the apprehended trio were members of a Mar extremist organization and trained cadres. 2 of them were from Cachar and 1 was from Churachandpur in Manipur. From them, 1 AK-47 rifle, a single barrel rifle, and 1 pistol were recovered along with live ammunition, he said. During interrogation, they revealed that some of their cadres were hiding in a nearby jungle in Buban Hills and planning to carry out some subversive activities along the Assam-Manipur border with a huge cache of arms, the SP said. Subsequently, a special operation was launched led by the District Additional SP along with commandos on the Buban Hills site for apprehending more militants on the basis of inputs provided by the 3 arrested insurgents who accompanied the security forces. The moment we reached there, they started indiscriminate firing. 6-7 militants were hiding at the spot. The police team immediately retaliated. There were heavy exchanges of fire from both the sides, Mahata said. The apprehended militants, who were wearing bulletproof jackets and helmets, suffered grievous injuries during the encounter and were immediately shifted to Sonari Primary Health Center and later to Silchar Medical College and Hospital, where the attending doctor declared them dead, he said. The SP also said that 3 police personnel got severely injured during the exchange of fire and admitted at the SMCH. On the other hand, the 6 to 7 militants managed to flee, taking cover of the darkness and uneven terrain, Mahata said. The police was thoroughly searched and police recovered 1 more assault rifle along with live ammunition and a number of empty cases, the SP said. The entire area has been cordoned off by security personnel and a search operation is being carried out to trace the fleeing militants, he added. Ajit Kumar Bhuyan, a member of parliament in Rajya Sabha and the president of Jatiya Dal Assam, has filed an FIR against Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma and several other ministers and MLAs. The FIR, addressed to the officer in charge of Dispur police station, alleged that the statements made by these constitutional functionaries constitutes hate speeches against a particular community. In the FIR, Bhuyan refers to recent press statements made by Chief Minister Sarma, in which he allegedly asked people from Upper Assam to come to Guwahati and promised to clear the city of Mayas. These statements, widely available on social media, are seen as intended to create divisions among different communities in the state, which is deemed prejudicial to national integration. Bhuyan highlights that the Supreme Court, in a recent ruling, has emphasized that hate speech is a serious offense that undermines the fabric of the nation and the dignity of its people. The Apex Court has directed all states and union territories to register cases related to hate speech, even in the absence of a formal complaint. However, despite various leaders from the ruling party targeting a particular community, the police have reportedly failed to take any action. In light of these circumstances, Bhuyan urged the Dispur police station to register a case against Chief Minister Sarma and other under Section 153A, 153B, and 295A of the Indian Penal Code. He further requests a thorough investigation into the matter and appropriate action to safeguard the fragile peace in the state. The filing of this FIR by MP Ajit Kumar Bhuyan adds a new dimension to the ongoing controversy surrounding the alleged hate speech made by Assam's Chief Minister and other politicians. The police response and subsequent investigation will be crucial in determining the legal implications and potential consequences for those involved. The Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum ITLF condemns in the strongest term the cold-blooded murder of 3 Mar youths from the Kuki-Zo community in a fake encounter by the Assam police. A video shot by the police clearly shows that the 3 victims, Lal Lungoy Mar, Lal Biakung Mar, and Joshua Larinsang, were apprehended by police while they were traveling in an auto rickshaw in Assam's Cachar district on July 16, 2024 without using any force. The police also sought other subsequent videos which went viral on social media showing them bound with ropes and taken to an undisclosed location in a forested area. Later, their bullet-riddled bodies turned up at the Silchar Medical College Hospital, SMCH morgue. The police version of the event is full of inconsistencies. The Cachar SP, in a statement, says the 3 youths were arrested on July 16, 2024 around 4 p.m. at Krishnapur Road and interrogated, during which they revealed that their counterparts were taking shelter in Buban Hills. A special operation was launched on the morning of July 17, 2024 around Buban Hills, during which 3 militants wearing bulletproof jackets and helmets were apprehended after being injured in the crossfire. The release further said that they were later pronounced dead at SMCH. But in a bizarre twist, the 3 dead militants, one of them were wearing a bulletproof vest in pictures leaked from the morgue, turned out to be the 3 youths who were already in police custody the previous evening: Lal Lungoy Mar, Lal Bekung Mar, and Joshua Larinsang. Such a glaring inconsistency clearly shows the killings with extrajudicial and the policemen involved need to be tried in court for the murder of 3 Indian citizens. It is also very unfortunate that Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma loaded the killings on social media. In light of the evidence recorded on video and the inconsistency of the police version of the event, we demanded that the state government institute an impartial investigation into the deaths and ensure justice is delivered. The ITLF also requests the National Human Rights Commission to take suo motu cognizance of the deaths and issue notices to the Assam government to open an investigation into the killings. Manipur police arrested Khangenbam Sanaton, alias Sanaton Basing 53, in connection with the murder of Mirange Chiru, an individual from the Chiru tribe. Further, the accused was produced before the court of the JMFC in Fal West 1 and remanded to 8 days of police custody. Confirming the same, the Manipur police on its handle wrote, in connection with the murder of L. Merangir Chiru on 15/7/2024, Manipur police arrested one individual identified as Khangembam Sanaton, alias Sanaton Basing, 53 years. He was later produced before the court of the Honorable JMFC in Fal West 1 and remanded to 8 days police custody. Further efforts are ongoing to apprehend the other suspects involved in the case. Mirange Chiru, a resident of Kangchup Chiru, Manipur, was reportedly tortured to death by miscreants. The tragic incident, which occurred yesterday, July 15, has left the community in a state of profound grief and sorrow. Efforts are ongoing to apprehend the other suspects involved in the case. Meanwhile, family members and relatives of Mirange Chiru are calling on the authorities to expedite the investigation and immediately bring those responsible to justice. In a strongly worded statement, the United Naga Council UNC and the Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity COCOMI jointly condemned the cold-blooded murder of Marangir Chiru of Kangchup Chiru village on July 15, 2024 by an armed assailant. COCOMI expressed regret over the incident, accepted moral responsibility, and extended their utmost concern to the victim's family and the community. They assured their best cooperation to resolve the matter amicably. Both organizations extended heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and their loved ones, standing in solidarity with them during this difficult time. They emphasized their commitment to justice for the victim and the family, arguing authorities to apprehend all culprits involved, thoroughly investigate the heinous crime, and ensure the welfare and future security of the victim's family. A group of Border Road Task Force (BRTF) who were on their way towards the Indo-Myanmar border was denied passes and asked to return at Bihing, where they were briefed of the negative consequences of the border fencing and at their camps. Report says that a group of BRTF were traveling towards the Indo-Myanmar border along with construction equipments such as excavator and bulldozer, but they were intercepted at Bihang by the Guitekol area's chief. The chief went to their camps and explained how unnecessary the border fencing is and how negatively it will affect the local residents on either side of the border. Amit Shah has announced to set up a 1,643-kilometer long border fencing running through Arunachal Pradesh to Nagaland and Manipur to Mizoram as well. The Ministry of Home Affairs has decided to scrap off the free movement regime, which allows passes to people settling near the border regions without passport or visa, which was introduced by the then government in 1967. People from Mizoram and Nagaland are also protesting against this border fencing and scrapping off the FMR by the Home Ministry. The United Committee Manipur has also submitted a memorandum to the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh and Union Minister of State for External Affairs R.K. Ranjan to stop border fencing on last 15 of September 2021. The border fencing has been strongly opposed by the Guitekol chief, who are the border area chiefs, since no prior information had been given to them regarding the construction of the border fencing, which will be running through their lands. The Guitekol chief had acknowledged the BRTF officials that no attention had been given by the government regarding their opposal of the border fencing, and that the Home Ministry is giving a deaf ear about the consequences of the border fencing we have been telling them. since the time of the British reign in India. We the Cookies have our own ancestral land since then, and we have all rights to oppose this border fencing, which will greatly affect our land ownership as well as our kinship with our relatives living in other side of the border, says the report. They have warned the BRTF to not involve themselves in any construction work along the border without their consent. A one-time financial assistance issued by the central government to the internally displaced persons settling in relief camps was handed over today by the officials from DC office under the supervision of the joint philanthropic organizations. The JPO and government officials today had handed over the one-time financial assistance to the IDPs in the following places: Simte Inn, NECA Bethlehem Veng, Sat Bhavna Mandap Homintang, VK Tona High, Lamka College, SSPP Residential School, Tedim Chin Inpi, YPA Hall Dorcas Veng, Chinkonpang YMA Hall, Chorchanpur Higher Secondary School, Vimala Raina High School, and Diet Center, respectively. A sum of Rs 1,000 was given to each IDP family. A member of the family, after receiving the allotted fund, signed on the paper, after which one of the CSO leaders who are assigned to the relief centers put their sign again as a witness. This financial assistance will continue until every IDP family gets their share, and the JPO leaders and government officers will distribute more funds to the IDPs in the future as well. The district administration, along with its subordinates, visited relief camps in the district yesterday. Darun Kumar S., IASDC Churachandpur, ADC, SDO, and KKL General Headquarters leaders were among the team visiting relief camps. The DC had an interactive session with the IDPs and promised to help the sick, and that he will be contacting the CMO to provide help to the sick inmates of the relief camps he visited. He asked the inmates regarding their sufferings and shortcomings, and also guaranteed to deliver help to them through the SDO. The relief camps visited by the DC and his team yesterday were Mongzang Relief Camp, Molnom KCC, M. Songil ECA Relief Camp, Vajing Relief Camp, Silmat Relief Camp, CBCA Relief Camp, Bizang ECA Relief Camp, Tuibong ECA Relief Camp, and Tuibong Community Hall Relief Camp, respectively. It may be highlighted that every relief camp is facing a shortage of medicines, and the KKL General Headquarters, as per their capabilities, have given help to all the sick inmates till today. KKL General Headquarters Information Secretary Kennedy Haukip had notified the DC regarding the shortage of medicines and lack of health facilities for the IDPs, and that the DC had assured to solve this problem for the IDPs. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandra Babu Naidu met Union Home Minister Amit Shah here late Tuesday night, arguing for a substantial fund allocation in the upcoming union budget to address the state's financial challenges, sources said. During the meeting at Shah's residence, the Telugu Desam Party (TDP) president emphasized that Andhra Pradesh continues to face the aftermath of the unjust bifurcation in 2014 and the previous administration's miserable governance, according to sources. Naidu, who arrived in the national capital on Tuesday evening for a two-day visit, is expected to meet Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Wednesday to further discuss the state's financial needs. A meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also likely on the cards, the sources added. The Andhra Pradesh government data reveals a worrying trend in the state fiscal health. The public debt has risen to 31.02% of the gross state domestic product (GSDP) in 2019-20 to 33.32% in 2023-24, indicating a deterioration over the past 5 years. This is Naidu's second trip to Delhi in nearly a fortnight. Only July 4, he presented a 7-point development agenda to the Prime Minister, aimed at addressing the state's post-bifurcation challenges. Naidu's advocacy for increased funding comes on the heels of a similar move by JDU National Working President Sanjay Kumar Jha, who met Sitharaman on Monday seeking higher allocations for Bihar in the upcoming budget. Both TDP and JDU are key constituents of the BJP-led NDA. TDP is leveraging its coalition partnership to push for Andhra Pradesh financial needs ahead of Union Budget 2024. During his previous Delhi visit, Naidu had also held talks with Shah and other union ministers, including M.S. Sitaraman, underscoring the urgency of the state's financial requirements. The Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) has made significant progress in the NEET paper leak case, arresting 2 individuals. Pankaj Kumar alias Aditya was arrested in Patna, while Raju Singh was apprehended in Hazaribagh. According to the CBI, Pankaj Kumar, a civil engineer from Bokaro, masterminded the theft of the NEET exam papers from a trunk in Hazaribagh, while another accused, Raju Singh, helped him in this heist. These recent arrests have come as major breakthroughs in the NEET paper leak investigation so far. A video of the trunk from which the NEET papers were stolen was also sought by India's TV team. The video showed the exact trunk from which the papers were stolen by the accused in Hazaribagh. The mastermind, Pankaj Kumar, and his accomplice Raju Singh are now in custody, marking a significant development in the ongoing investigation. 8 Indians and a Sri Lankan national were rescued by an Indian warship while carrying out a rescue operation to trace the crew members of a Comoros flag oil tanker that capsized off the Oman coast, the Indian Navy said on Wednesday night. It said the vessel had capsized about 25 nautical miles southeast of Ras Maraka in Oman on July 15, and search and rescue efforts in coordination with Omani authorities are in progress. The tanker MT Falcon Prestige has a 16-member crew including 13 Indians and 3 Sri Lankans, Oman's Maritime Security Center (MSC) said. It said in a post on X that 1 crew member was found dead. However, the nationality of the deceased person is not yet known. Search and rescue operations have successfully found 10 crew members of the oil tanker Prestige Falcon, 9 found alive, it said, adding 1 crew member was found dead. The Indian Navy said its mission deployed warship INS Tech, rendering search and rescue assistance for the capsized oil tanker, rescue 8 Indian and 1 Sri Lankan personnel. The Indian Navy's long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft P-81 is also assisting in the search operations. The merchant vessel is reported to have had a total of 16 crew, including 13 Indians and 3 Sri Lankans, the Navy said in a brief statement. The search and rescue by Indian and Omani assets is being undertaken in challenging weather conditions as the area is experiencing rough sea and strong winds, it said. Earlier, Indian government sources said MT Falcon Prestige transmitted a distress call around 2,200 hours on July 14 off the coast of Oman. Our embassy in Oman is in constant touch with the Omani authorities. A search and rescue operation for the seafarers, coordinated by the Oman Maritime Security Center, is on, one of the sources said. It is learned that the oil tanker was going towards the Yemeni port of Aden and its capsized off Oman's Dukam. It is not known how the tanker capsized. In a post on X, the Indian embassy in Muscat said it is coordinating with Omani authorities and the Indian Navy for the search and rescue operation for the MT Prestige Falcon. 9 crew, including 8 Indians, have been rescued today by INS Tech. Search for the remaining survivors continues, it said. 2 Jawans were killed and 4 injured in an improvised explosive device IED blast by Naxalites in Bijapur district in Chhattisgarh on Thursday. The State Task Force Chief Constable Bharat Lal Sahu and Constable Satir Singh laid down their lives in the line of duty. The IED blast occurred last night in the forest of Mandi Marka in the Terem police station area. The security forces personnel were returning from an anti-Naxal operation when the pipe bomb exploded. The wounded soldiers, Parusottam Nak, Kamal Yadav, Siyaram Sori, and Sanjay Kumar are currently receiving treatment at the district hospital, and preparations are underway to airlift them to Raipur for better medical care. After receiving intelligence about the presence of Maoists from the Darbha Division, West Bastar Division, and Military Company No. 2 in the border area between Bijapur, Datewada, and Sukma districts, joint teams from STF, District Reserve Group DRG, Commando Battalion for Resolute Action, COBRA, and Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF) were deployed on a special operation on Tuesday. Additional security forces have been dispatched to the area, and necessary arrangements have been made for the proper treatment of the injured STF soldiers. Earlier last month, in a similar incident, 2 CRPF personnel were killed in an IED blast in the Sukma district. The personnel from Commando Battalion for Resolute Action, Cobra 201 Battalion of the CRPF were going from Silgar to Tekulagudam camps on a routine patrol as part of its route opening party at around 3 p.m. on Sunday on a truck and bikes when the truck was blown up by the IED blast. 2 K9 teams from the Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF) and Special Commando Forces accompanied by 17 handlers from India have traveled to Paris, France to provide security for the upcoming Paris Olympics 2024. With the Olympics scheduled to begin on July 26 and continue until August 11, extensive security measures are being put in place to prevent potential threats and maintain public order. A total of 10 K9 teams will be deployed, with 2 of these teams coming from India for the first time. These teams departed for Paris on July 10, having been shortlisted after a series of stringent tests. The Indian K9 contingent includes 10 dogs of varying breeds, 6 Belgian Shepherds, 3 German Shepherds, and 1 Labrador Retriever. The Indian K9 team's duties include sniffing and patrolling at the various venues hosting the sporting events during the Olympics. The 10 dogs and their handlers were selected from various CAPF, including the Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF), Sasatra Seema Bal (SSB), Indo-Tibetan Border Police (ITBP), National Security Guard (NSG), and Assam Rifles. Before their departure to Paris, both the Indian officers and dogs underwent a 10-week specialized training. According to ANI, the CRPF confirmed that 2 K9 teams, VAS and Denby, have been selected to provide security at the Paris Olympics 2024. 2 K9 teams from Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF) left for Paris on July 10 as part of the 10 K9 teams, selected to provide security to various venues of the upcoming Paris Olympics 2024, scheduled from July 26 to August 11. CRPF regarding India's participation in the Olympics, a contingent to 117 athletes have been approved by the Sports Ministry, with 140 sports staff members accompanying them separately. Among the athletes, 72 are making their Olympic debut, while 5 medalists from the Tokyo Olympics are returning in hopes of winning another medal. India will begin their campaign a day before the opening ceremony on July 25, with archers competing in individual ranking rounds. China has suspended negotiations on nuclear non-proliferation and arms control with the United States in protest against Washington's arms sales to the self-ruled island of Taiwan. The U.S. called Beijing's decisions on Wednesday unfortunate, while analysts say the move deals a potentially serious setback to global arms control efforts. China and the U.S. began nuclear weapons discussion in November as part of a bid to ease mistrust ahead of a summit between President Xi Jinping and Joe Biden. Further dialogue had not been publicly announced since, with a White House official in January urging Beijing to respond to some of our most substantive ideas on risk reduction. A spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday said the U.S. arms sales of Taiwan, a territory that it claims has seriously compromised the political atmosphere for continuing the arms control consultations. Consequently, the Chinese side has decided to hold off discussion with the U.S. on a new round of consultations on arms control and non-proliferation, Lin Jian, the spokesperson, told a regular news briefing in Beijing. The responsibility fully lies with the U.S., he said. Lin added that China was willing to maintain communication on international arms control but said the U.S. must respect China's core interests and create necessary conditions for dialogue and exchange. The U.S. switched diplomatic recognition from Taipei to Beijing in 1979, but has remained Taiwan's most important partner and biggest arms supplier, sparking repeated condemnations from China. Taiwan has protested for the past 4 years about step-up Chinese military activity near the island, including almost daily missions by Chinese warplanes and warships. Washington in June approved 2 military sales to Taiwan worth approximately $300 million in total, mostly of spare and repairs parts of the island F-16 fighter jets. Hezbollah has warned it will find new targets for its rocket attacks should Israeli attacks continue to target civilians in Lebanon. Hassan Nasrallah, the Lebanese armed group's leader, delivered the threat during a televised address on Wednesday. His wounds increased concern that the low-level conflict that Israel and the Iran-aligned group have pursued since the start of the war in Gaza could escalate towards a full-scale war. Noting that 8 non-combatants were killed in Israeli attacks on Lebanon in recent days, Nasrallah said that more civilian bloodshed would see Hezbollah fire at new Israeli towns. Continuing to target civilians will push the resistance to launch missiles at settlements that were not previously targeted, he said in an address to mark the Largely Shia Holy Day Ashura. 5 civilians, including 3 children, were killed in Israeli raids in Lebanon on Tuesday. At least 3 Lebanese civilians were killed the day before, according to state media and security sources. Israel had said it is striking Hezbollah fighters and infrastructure in Lebanon and does not target civilians. Each attack have killed more than 500 people in Lebanon since October 7. Most casualties have been Hezbollah fighters, but more than 100 civilians are also reported to have died. The attacks have also wrought devastation on Lebanese border villages. Hezbollah's attack in Israel have killed 17 soldiers and 13 civilians, according to authorities, sparking months-long evacuation orders in the north. The death of children who were reportedly playing in front of their home when the Israeli attack rained down on Tuesday have attracted significant criticism. The UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, described the incident as horrific. More children are at risk as long as the violence continues, the agency said in a post on X, noting they must be protected under international law. Russia and Ukraine conducted their third major prisoner exchange in 7 weeks, with a total of 190 individuals released between both countries. This latest swap followed negotiations mediated by the United Arab Emirates UAE, which have played a crucial role in facilitating these exchanges between them. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced that all 95 Ukrainians freed were military personnel and expressed gratitude to the UAE for their assistance. However, Russia's defense ministry stated that the returning soldiers will undergo medical examinations, physical and psychological rehabilitation, claiming they had faced mortal danger in Ukrainian captivity. This prisoner exchange marks the third in recent weeks, with the first announced in late May. Since the start of Russia's invasion in February 2022, Ukraine has secured the return of 3,405 people from Russian captivity, according to the Ukrainian Coordinating Committee on Dealing with Prisoners of War. The committee reported that 7 officers and 88 soldiers and sergeants were freed in the latest exchange, with most having been held captive since 2022. A video posted by the committee showed Ukrainian troops boarding buses to return home, cheering and embracing each other. One serviceman, wrapped in the Ukrainian flag, expressed his disbelief at being back home, saying, "I still cannot believe that I am at home." Notably, 23 of the freed soldiers had participated in the 3-month defense of the Sea of Azov port of Mariupol and were captured by Russian forces in May 2022. The committee highlighted that many returning Ukrainian soldiers suffer from chronic disease and require long-term treatment due to their wounds. In the previous exchange in June, Russia and Ukraine each handed back 90 prisoners, marking a significant step towards alleviating the humanitarian crisis caused by the conflict. In a tragic development, at least 16 people were killed in a massive fire that broke out on Wednesday evening in the southwestern Chinese city of Zhejiang, according to state-run media. Firefighters and rescuers responded to a fire call shortly after 6 p.m. on Wednesday at the 14-story commercial building and pulled 75 people to safety. Social media video posts showed clouds of thick black smoke coming out of windows from the building's lower levels and engulfing the entire 14-story structure as they rose into the sky. Huge flames were visible, and firefighters fought the fire with water sprays. Local media said firefighters also used several drones. Preliminary investigation showed the fire was due to construction operations. Further investigation was underway to identify the specific cause of the fire. Nearly 300 emergency workers and dozens of vehicles were dispatched from the local fire department to the scene. Firefighters managed to extinguish the fire at 8:20 p.m. local time. Fire hazards and other deadly incidents are very common in China, which reported 947 fire fatalities in this year's first several months, ending on May 20, up 19% from the same period of the previous year, said Li Wenfeng, a spokesperson for the National Fire and Rescue Administration. Li said the number of fires in public places, such as hotels and restaurants, rose 40%, and that the most common causes were malfunctioning electrical or gas lines and carelessness. In January, a massive fire in a building in China's Jiangxi province killed at least 39 people due to unauthorized welding. The fire broke out in a street shop in the Yushui district of Xinyu, and local fire response emergency headquarters said. Following the mishap, Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered steps to curb repeated occurrence of such accidents and to protect people's lives and property and social stability. This incident happened days after at least 13 students were killed when a fire broke out in a school dormitory in central China's Henan province. All the victims were third-grade students. In February, at least 15 people were killed and 44 others injured when a building caught fire in Nanjing, the capital city of East China's Jiangsu province. In November last year, 26 people died after a large fire ripped through an office building in Luliang City in Shaanxi province. A hospital fire in Beijing last April claimed the lives of at least 29 people, mostly patients, and triggered an investigation which saw 12 people detained by police for questioning. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.